Actually, one of the very first blogs which I wrote was regarding Arjun and Gita. So Mahabharat. Mahabharat is my most favorite story. I just love it. It doesn't matter for me whether it was real, whether it really happened, whether the characters are real, whether Krishna is God, Arjun is great warrior. Doesn't matter anything. Even if you see it as just as a fiction, a story written by some author, it's equally impressive. It's equally what I can say informative, and it delivers its lessons very excellently. So it's one of the most perfect story written ever. It's very interesting script. If you like it as a movie, a bunch of stories, anything, it excels at all level. So in that and there are many versions of it. Many people see as believe that many things were added, many things were modified, and it happens with the text which is so old. It's delivered from one generation to another. It was transmitted orally via memory, memorizing the text, and when it became in written format, then also certain version dominated, certain version didn't. So there are many myths and facts associated with that, and they should not matter. What matters is the content and what message it delivers. So for me, it's very interesting, and in that story, when the Kaurav and Pandavas are on the battlefield to fight each other, the Pandavas thinks it's their right to get the kingdom, share of the kingdom, and Duryodhana, who is the head of Kaurav army, he refuses to give even an inch of land to them. And then there is a war, and then during the war, Arjun, who is the most celebrated warrior from Pandava's side, it's their trump card. It heavily depends on him and his performance whether Pandav defeat Kauravas or not. Panics in the beginning of the war, and he refuses to fight. And he says Krishna that these all are my relatives. I'm not going to kill them just for the piece of land. It doesn't make sense to me. And then Krishna delivers a Gita, means he delivers a message to encourage him, to make him aware of his responsibilities, his duties, and which helps him to clear his doubts and make himself ready for this war. It's called as Dharma Yudh. It means war for the what you can say, truth, or war for Dharma, establishing Dharma. So why Arjun? The question was why he only delivered to the Arjun. Why not to Yudhishthir? Why not to any other? Why not to Duryodhana? If you see the most common perceptions, people believe that he was the guy who was messing it up. Why not to him? So that he understands it's their right to get their share in the property and just give it to them and have peace and live peacefully. Why Arjun? Why not to deliver this message to a person who can avoid the war? Why not to Bhishma? Why not to Karna? Why not to Dronacharya? So that they change their sides. They come to Pandav's side. So Kaurav army becomes weak, and Duryodhana realizes that he don't have enough strength to fight. So there is no point in fighting. Why to Arjun? And when this question came to my mind, it was very interesting. I tried to find out the answers. I found some posts related with that, some opinions, and based on that, those things, and based on my own thinking, what I think is why he delivered to the Arjun is because he was in confused state of mind. We all get to that stage at some stage in our life. And it's not that Arjun was weak or Arjun was scared to fight or Arjun was going to kill people for the first time in his life. It was not like that. He was not preparing Arjun for his first war. It's not a part of his training. At that stage, Arjun was already a celebrated, established, glorified warrior. That's why it was the outcome of war was heavily dependent on him. See, it was not that first time he was going to kill people for the sake of winning the war. He did it many times before. He was very good at it. He was considered the best archer, warrior. So it was not to enhance any of his skills or teach him how to fight. So we all learn techniques, skills in our life. Many of us are very good at it. But even being equipped with all those things, sometimes we face confusion. Sometimes we face a situation in our life where we don't know what to do, where we don't know what is right or what is wrong. Let's say it that way. Means we have two options which we think are equally good, equally what you can say right. So which one to choose? This is called in Hindu philosophy Dharm Sankat. Dharm Sankat means you don't know what to choose. Means either way there are pros and cons. If you choose this one, there are some positives and negatives. If you choose another way, there are some positives and negatives. So which way to go? And there is no right or wrong answer. And I think to clear that doubt, Krishna delivers a Gita to Arjun. Because if you see all other characters, Bhishma, Dronacharya, Karna, Duryodhana, Yudhishthira, Bhim, they already decided what they want in their life. Duryodhana knew that I'm not going to give them what he used to think is my property, my right, no matter what. That's spirit. He is already clear with his idea. Karna also was clear. Duryodhana is my friend. He helped me when I was in need. He stood behind me when no one stood behind me. Everyone was making fun of me, but this guy was the person who helped me. I'm going to help him no matter what. Then Bhim, Arjun, everyone else. Bhim had his own reasons why he wanted to kill Kauravas. Yudhishthira had his own reasons. No one was confused. Everyone was pretty clear. Dronacharya was there. Okay, I'm employed by Kaurav kingdom and I have to serve them. Bhishma was bound to his oath. I have taken oath to protect this Hastinapur throne. Whoever sits on this is my master, no matter what. But Arjun was not like that. He was not bound by any oath, any what you can say prejudice. He didn't. At that position, when he became vulnerable, he was not thinking about revenge. He was thinking, all these are my relatives. I played with them. I shared my childhood with them. I have very good memories associated with them. And just for the piece of land or kingdom, shall I kill them? And it's not a question of one brother or one person. It's like, half of my family is on the other side. And plus those thousands of soldiers who are just standing there doing their duties. I have nothing against them, and they don't have anything against me. But there is a situation where we both are going to kill each other. So is it worth it? And that was a very valid question to ask. It's no doubt these questions were valid. So. And we face the similar situation sometime in our, professional life, personal life, family life, where we see, is it worth to fight with this person? Is it worth to hurt these people for so and so reason? Is it worth to sack a certain person for such and such mistake? What consequences it will have? What his family will think? What people associated with him will go through if I do this? These are very genuine questions, genuine concerns, and as humans, we all get it. That's why we are humans. Animals don't think. If animal is hungry, if he finds food, he will just that animal will just eat it. He won't think like whether the dog in my neighborhood will get same food or not. Nothing like that. They have simple basic needs and straightforward behavior. But we are not like that. We think differently. That's how we differentiate ourselves from other animals. So the question comes, then we get confused, and then we want to clear our doubts. That's what Krishna did on that day. He delivered a Gita. He showed him various aspects of life. what he thinks life is, why why you have to live it to your duties. Sometimes your duties demand hard and difficult work. There are difficult decisions to take, and you have to live with it. Whether it brings any good response or bad response, you have to accept it. Basically, it's your duty. It's a result of your karma. It's result. It's your dharma to face it. And he explained it in very detailed. So Gita, or any of these, most of these texts make sense when you are confused, when you need some advice, some sound advice, especially when there is some moral dilemma associated with it. People go to these texts and they make sense to them. Otherwise, if you read them any other time, it's like just like any other book. There's nothing special in it. But if you, as I said, if you are in a dilemma and if you want some certain advice in certain aspects, if you read them, try to understand them. If you are, indirectly what I mean is, if you are in the same situation in which Arjun was, then Gita makes sense to you. Gita is for you. It is delivered for you. If you are not in a situation of Arjun, if you are like Yudhishthir, if you are like Bhim, if you are like Duryodhan, if you are like Karn, if you are like Bhishma, your goals are set, your path is very clear, you know what you want to do. This is not for you, because you already know what to do it. You just acquire the skills which you need to do those things, and you just do it. So it's not like, those people were bad and Arjun was exceptional. No, Arjun was confused, those people were clear. It's as simple as that. So it was delivered for him. And Arjun can be a person, Arjun can be a community, Arjun can be a country, Arjun can be a whole humanity. The whole humanity can be confused. Whole humanity can stand at a junction, at a history where they don't know what to do. Whole country can stand like that, whether they don't know whether to attack this country or not to attack this country. If you don't attack, whether they will wipe us out, and if we attack, whether we will harm civilians in that country where we are attacking just for some crazy dictator which is running that country the way which that person wants. Is it worth to take that much of a risk? Is it worth to put so many lives at risk? If you look at the history, so many places this type of situation has was there, and some people took the responsibility and did certain things. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. That's why the text makes very interesting. Let me see what else I wrote at that time. And as I wrote in that blog, that Arjun is not just a person. I mean, some people take it, a very literal meaning of this text. As I said, it's just you can take it just as a symbol. Arjun is like a symbol, because if you read Mahatma Gandhi didn't believe that this war really happened. It just says that you can compare it as in our mind, war goes on between good and bad, and this Kurukshetra war is symbol of that, because of his principle of ahimsa, non-violence. He was not willing to accept. Maybe he was right. Maybe this war didn't happen. It's just author's way to take this story and explain us that there is a continuous battle between good and bad, between our minds, in our society, everywhere around us, and we take sides. We all take sides. Whatever we feel good, we go with that, and whatever we feel bad, we oppose that. So we all do that in our own ways. It doesn't have to be physical fight. It doesn't have to be a war, battlefield. We do it in a family. We do it in argument. We do it in our office. We do it in our home. We take sides. Wherever we feel it's right, we go with them. So similarly, this Gita is the same thing. If you want an advice, if you are confused, you go and read it. And Gita is just one book. You can go and read any book. Any book can be your Gita. Any book can be a Bhagavad Gita for you. It depends on what type of advice you know. If you are financially confused and if you don't know what to do in stock market, Gita is not going to help. You have to find your own Bible, or you have to find your own Gita, which advises you with that type of problem. So it's not the text for all problems. But yes, that's why I like Mahabharata. You can take story from that, and you can relate, or you can you can use it in any situation in your life, any situation. It has covered almost entire aspects of human life. That's why it is amazing. Thousands and thousands of years back, maybe a single author or maybe set of authors contributed to this text, and it has amazing stories in it. So you have to find your own Krishna, your own Gita. You know, anybody who can advise you at any particular junction of your life where you're confused and give you a sound and right advice is your Krishna. It's not an idol. It's not Krishna is not a person who looks a certain ways, dresses in certain ways. Anyone who can guide you on a proper path. It can be your father, it can be your mother, it can be your friend, it can be your teacher, it can be a book, it can be your kid, it can be your wife, it can be your partner, it can be a stranger, it can be totally stranger, it can be your Krishna, and that message can be your Gita. So I understand it that way. I take it in that way. I was confused in many junctions of my life, and I seek advice from everywhere, and I have found very nice people, very nice advisors, and I have met many Krishnas, and I have got each and every chapter of Gita delivered to me from various sources. I was lucky, and I'm sure if you want to meet your Krishna, if you want to get your Gita, you will definitely find it. You just have to accept that yes, I need an advice and I'm willing to listen, and it will come to you. Thank you. Thanks for listening.